What if I told you that a single city once ruled over 70 million people, nearly 20% of the world's population? That it controlled lands across 3 continents, yet collapsed under its own weight? Welcome to the incredible story of the Roman Empire, its unstoppable rise, and its epic fall. Rome was born in legend. In 753 BCE, 2 brothers, Romulus and Remus, were abandoned as babies, raised by a she-wolf, and destined to found a city. But fate turned violent. Romulus killed Remus in a fight over who would lead, and named the city after himself, Rome. At first, Rome was just a small kingdom among many in central Italy. It was surrounded by rivals like the Etruscans and Samnites, yet it had something unique, a relentless drive to expand, and an identity shaped by war, resilience, and order. The Romans transitioned from monarchy to a republic, ruled not by kings, but by elected consuls and a senate. This system gave them flexibility, discipline, and a civic code that prioritized loyalty to Rome above all else. Rome's rise was slow and bloody. It spent centuries conquering the Italian peninsula, not through brute force alone, but by cleverly assimilating conquered peoples. They offered citizenship to allies, built roads to connect cities, and treated rebellion harshly. Then came their biggest test: Carthage, a mighty trading empire in North Africa. The Punic Wars would define Roman ambition. In the Second Punic War, Carthaginian General Hannibal shocked the world by marching 40,000 troops and war elephants over the Alps into Italy. He won multiple battles, but never took Rome. Eventually, Rome counterattacked, and by 146 BCE, Carthage was destroyed, its land salted so nothing would grow. Rome now controlled Spain, Greece, parts of North Africa, and grew richer with every conquest. But inside the Republic, cracks were forming. As Rome grew, wealth flooded in, but inequality widened. Powerful elites gained massive estates worked by slaves, while common soldiers returned from war to find themselves jobless and landless. Reformers like the Gracchus brothers tried to redistribute land, but both were murdered by the Senate. Rome had entered a cycle of political violence. Then came Gaius Marius and Lucius Cornelius Sulla, generals who turned armies into private militias. Rome descended into civil war, with the Senate losing control. And out of this chaos rose a new figure, Julius Caesar. A brilliant general, Caesar conquered Gaul, modern France, and became a hero of the people. When the Senate tried to strip him of power, he crossed the Rubicon River in 49 BCE, a declaration of war against Rome itself. Caesar defeated his rivals, declared himself dictator for life, and began ambitious reforms, from the Julian calendar to expanding the Senate. But he was too powerful, too fast. On the Ides of March, 44 BCE, he was stabbed 23 times by his own senators, including his friend Brutus. Rome plunged back into chaos. Eventually, Caesar's grandnephew and adopted son, Octavian, emerged victorious after defeating Mark Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE. In 27 BCE, Octavian took the title Augustus, becoming Rome's first emperor. The Republic was dead. The Roman Empire had begun. Augustus ushered in the Pax Romana, 200 years of relative peace. He reformed the tax system, strengthened the military, and rebuilt Rome with stunning architecture. Under emperors like Trajan, Hadrian, and Marcus Aurelius, Rome reached its peak, stretching from Britain to Mesopotamia, from the Sahara to the Rhine. They built over 250,000 miles of roads, aqueducts that delivered fresh water, and cities with forums, baths, and amphitheaters. Roman law, language, Latin, and engineering became the foundation of Western civilization. But not all emperors were wise. Caligula appointed his horse as a senator. Nero possibly burned Rome to build a palace. Madness at the top became a pattern, and it would have consequences. By the 3rd century CE, the empire was too big to govern. External enemies grew stronger. The Germanic tribes, the Persians, and the mysterious Huns began pushing Rome's borders. Inside, the economy faltered. Inflation soared. The military became more loyal to their generals than to Rome. Emperors rose and fell rapidly. Over 20 emperors in 50 years. In 284 CE, Emperor Diocletian tried to save the empire by splitting it into two. The Western Roman Empire ruled from Rome, and the Eastern Empire ruled from Byzantium, later Constantinople. His reforms delayed the collapse, but couldn't prevent it. In the 4th and 5th centuries, waves of barbarian invasions swept across Europe. In 410 CE, the Visigoths sacked Rome, the first time in 800 years that the Eternal City had fallen. In 455, the Vandals did it again. By 476 CE, the Western Roman Emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by a Germanic general named Odoacer. The Western Roman Empire was gone. But in the East, the Byzantine Empire, Roman in name and culture, would survive for another 1,000 years until the fall of Constantinople in 1453. Historians offer many reasons: military overspending, political instability, economic collapse, plagues and famines, moral decay. But perhaps Rome collapsed for the same reason it rose: human ambition. The empire was built on conquest, and once expansion stopped, so did the engine that powered it. Rome became a warning. No power is eternal. Rome's fall didn't erase its greatness. Latin became the root of many languages. Roman law influenced modern justice. Architecture inspired everything from government buildings to churches. The idea of a republic, a senate, and civic duty all echo in modern democracies. Even in death, Rome lives on. From legends to laws, from Caesar to collapse, Rome was more than a place. It was an idea, one that continues to shape the world we live in. If you found this video powerful, insightful, or surprising, give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more historical deep dives, and comment below. What do you think caused the fall of Rome? Thanks for watching. Until next time, history remains our greatest teacher.